I was scared because then I knew this is for real. This is no joke. You know, this isn't some simple, I got a chest inflammation or something, because they hadn't gotten the results back of whether or not I had tested positive for COVID, but they were treating it as such because of everything else, all the other symptoms I was showing. But yes, that was one of those kind of come to Jesus moments that was like, all right, this is going to get real here. You know, I was scared.
In early April, father, grandfather, and husband Michael Weiss was admitted to Sharp Chula Vista Medical Center with a high fever and critically low oxygen levels, symptoms that turned out to be the warning signs of COVID-19. Tina Weiss, Michael's wife, remembered dropping her husband off at urgent care and having him whisked away in an ambulance to the nearest emergency department.
So every day was like, you know, okay, are they going to take him off the machine today? Are they going to take him off the machine today? You know, what's going to happen? Am I going to get that phone call saying that, you know, sorry, he didn't make it? You know, every day I didn't know what was going to happen or what they were going to tell me. It was heart-wrenching. It was just the not knowing, the knowing that the last time I saw him, he was walking into the urgent care, and that was the last time I seen him. And having to have that as my memory of the last time, and not knowing if he was going to come back, and that our kids wouldn't have a dad anymore, and our grandkids, you know, wouldn't have a papa anymore. And it was just, what am I going to do?
Strict no visitation policies kept her from seeing him again in person for 21 days, even as he lay in a hospital bed, sedated and on a breathing machine. Spending 10 days under sedation, Michael said, was like a dream, but waking up started the real work.
So even after I got off the vent, I was probably at least another week in bed, if not more, until they finally had a physical therapist come in and they set me up with a walker. And again, I couldn't do anything without a nurse or them present.
The day after we took him to the hospital, his mom wound up having to go to the hospital, and she had tested positive. So before he went under sedation for the intubation, I had to tell him, I'm like, you know, your mom's in the hospital too. You know, she was tested positive for COVID, you know, and then a week later, she passed. He was still on a ventilator. He was still sedated. I couldn't tell him. I couldn't, you know, and it was like, what do I tell my husband when he wakes up that his mom isn't here anymore?
There are times when I get very emotional over it. I'll think about it and think about the days that I lost, the 10 days I was on the vent, not being able to see my mom, that she passed. You know, everybody got to video chat with my mom before she passed. She might have been kind of incoherent, but they got to visit her. I didn't get that opportunity. So it's things like that where I think people don't realize what you could potentially be missing. You know, being in the hospital, being stupid, and you end up in the hospital. It's just all these things that, you know, happened while I was in there.
This urn holds half of his mother's ashes, with the other half at his father's home. No one in the family is certain how the virus arrived, but Michael said he thinks he may have picked it up while taking his mom, Ramona Weiss, to a doctor's appointment. His daughter, Michaela, and his son-in-law, William, also became infected, but had comparatively mild symptoms. They have a message for those who say they believe the current COVID-19 pandemic isn't real.
When people say this is a hoax, it angers me to the deepest part of my soul. And if anyone else went through what we had to go through, they would understand, and probably they'd feel ashamed for saying stuff like that.
If I can keep somebody else from doing something stupid, if, you know, we can put out enough information, because the media spins it one way, but you actually talk to people who have gone through it and go, this is no joke. You know, stay safe, do your social distancing, put a mask on, you know, because it's not only protecting you, it's protecting everybody else that's out there.
It's not a joke. It's when you've had to live through what we've had to live through and have so many family members get sick from this thing, it's not funny. It's not a joke. It's not made up.
I lost 28 pounds in muscle mass. Even still today, being out of the hospital, a month and a half? I mean, there are, like, just opening a jar sometimes is difficult because you still don't have that strength back. So out of that 28 pounds, I put 8 back on, which is fine because I needed to lose the weight anyways, just not on the COVID diet.
Living the full course of the disease has given Michael Weiss a different perspective on life. These days, he says, family's at the forefront.
So yeah, this thing has hit my family hard. Really value life in your family. Definitely. Yeah, that's huge.
Reporting for the San Diego Union-Tribune, this is Paul Sisson.